Jordan Peterson went on Joe Rogan last night, and he's getting to a point where he's really slipping. This guy used to be the so-called figure of masculinity in psychology. Now you can really tell his mental health is struggling, whether this has anything to do with his substance abuse in the past. Peterson literally labelized a certain group we can't say on here as a threat to America, a threat to Christianity, and basically false virtues. This group is very well known. We obviously can't even say the name on here that they're that well known.
But the problem is that argument is predicated on the claim that the ideas are the problem, like the woke ideas, for example, on the right or the left. But that's not the problem. The problem is that 4 to 5% of the population, something like that, is cluster B, that's the DSM-5 terms, histrionic, narcissistic, antisocial, psychopathic, or they have dark tetrad traits, they're Machiavellian, they're sadistic. That's about 4%. Okay, so the question is, how do these people maneuver? And the answer is they go to where the power is and they adopt those ideas and they put themselves even on the forefront of that.
Right.
But the ideas are completely irrelevant.
Right.
All they're doing is they're the Pharisees. They're the modern version of the Pharisees. They're the people who use God's name in vain, right? As they proclaim moral virtue.
Yes.
Doesn't matter whether it's right or left or Christian or Jewish or Islam. They invade the idea space, and then they use those ideas as false weapons to advance their narcissistic advantage.
Yes.
And so then you have the problem, and the right's going to face this more and more particularly, because the left had to face it when they were in powers.
Yes.
How do you identify the psychopathic parasites, 4% of the population, who are clothed in your clothing and waving your flags, but who are only in it for narcissistic benefit?
Because this so-called group that use the words, many people that are fake Christians, according to Peterson, use this to wield political power and aren't even Christians at all, which is a pretty wild thing to say. I don't know how you expect to get any positive feedback out of that one. Peterson goes on to say that Christ is king is also a threat and is anti-Semitic. This guy is completely crashed out. I don't see how he's going to attract the younger masculine audience, let alone any audience, if he can't even be objective about the truth. At the same time, taking shots at pro-America, pro-Christian, Catholic groups that are doing nothing to you personally. You just have a problem with the way they operate and the fact that it's actually getting pretty popular in our country. So I'm going to say it. Christ is king. God is great. Catholicism is the #2 growing religion under Islam and soon to be #1 in the future.